Doc. It's TGIF, not TGIM. It is Doc from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And we should be getting rolling along here. Why is that not screening in? Reconnect. There we are. And so, let's see what's going on in this market today. They're selling them off a little bit on the stock side, nothing major, but and it seems like it's in one of those docile states where markets are not really clear where they want to be. Now let's go over to the chart, and there is that's NAS dollar. Let's go to Swiss, right there. You see, kind of firm, but overall, really, the last 3 days kind of trapped in a little teeny weeny little range there. And let's just take a look at. There's that. That's the Nifty 50. That was cool. We've got that now on there if anybody wants to see that Nifty 50. And let me turn on the. First, let's get to the Swiss again. There's the dollar Swiss up on Dukascopy. Let's get the fact spreadsheet up like so. Let's see. Move this up a little bit higher like that. There we are. And so there we go. You can see it's just kind of sideways action. Dollar's not really roaring away anywhere particular. Let's get the that up on the space here. Let's see our chat line. Let's see, trading. Where are you? There you are. And then we'll be able to hear us. So far, so good. We're tuned in. Commercial ends in like 1 second. Excellent. And so far we have not missed anybody. No one has said like hello. Oh, there we go. Hey, there's Robin. Hey, Robin, how you doing? So we're rocking and rolling. It's a TGIF. Thank goodness it is Friday. Ah, there's Mock. The speed of sound. Yo, Mock. That's neat. What a great nickname. Mock. I like that. The speed of sound. All right. Let me think now. What do we got going on today? So you can see the dollar's kind of flattish. Nothing major. Just a teeny weeny little up in value. Let's check out. I think it was cable closed in a daily buy. Let's see which mousey. Let's go with this mousey right there. And we'll move this over like so and so. There we go. And so like the let's see where the cable is this morning. Right there. There we go. I just saw it. Right there. There's the cable. Cable just kind of drifting along. I was really expecting to see a little bit more strength in it. Let's see how it looks like over in our Chicago Quant. One of the above. If it's not J4X, it's Chicago Quant. If it's not Chicago Quant, it's J4X. Yeah, a little dipping down. Oh, look at that. Let's widen that a little bit there. You can see it's it is down below the zero line. Hey, how about that, huh? But look at the weekly. It doesn't seem to take it too serious by the end of the day. I saw this, and let me interrupt you. I saw this. Mi Poroski? Not really. But hello, studio. Yo. Let me think. What was I going to say there? I'm going in 4 directions in my head. Trying to remember any of the little Slavic I do have in my head. Where am I at? Oh, yes. I saw this story about... Now, where was I at? I'm looking at cable. Oh, they called Boris Yeltsin, Bojo. They called him... This was the Church-Illian, like, in other words, like Churchill, moment with his Brexit. My GBP is called cable. Oh, why is it? Oh, because of Marconi, the inventor of the radio. Because they laid cable below the oceans to the United States back in, I think it was like the 1870s, 1860s. Let me see. When did they lay the transatlantic cable? Let's see if we can find that. I think it was in the 18s and change. We'll find that in a second here. But the transatlantic cable, let's see, transatlantic cable first. Let's see, first transatlantic cable from England to the United States. Transatlantic cable. Right there. Laid in 1866. So the first transatlantic cable actually was started right before the Civil War in 1859. So yes, in 1859, Cyrus Westfield and the Atlantic Telegraph Company were behind the construction of the first transatlantic telegraph cable. The project began in 1854 and was completed in 1858. The cable functioned for only 3 weeks, but was the first such project to yield practical results. How the first cable was laid across the Atlantic. In many ways, we don't realize that when Nikola Tesla came along, in his success in the 1880s and 1890s, he was talking about cell phones back then. Can you imagine? He was actually talking about cell phones, and so he had a good idea. It says, see, the first, what was the significance of the transatlantic telegraph? In 1866, expedition saved the investment of the 1865 cable as well, doubling. So, they were constantly laying, it was stretching nearly 2,000 miles across the Atlantic. And sometimes as deep as 2 miles below the water. So, it's like 10,000 feet. So that's why they call that 3 weeks. What's 3 weeks, Robin? It took them 3 weeks to lay the cable? I guess if you have a fast enough boat, and the best, the best equipment, and so forth. Yeah. And that's something, huh, Mock? I know. In many ways, by the 1920s and the 1930s, mankind was deeply involved for 50 to 75 years in communications. People don't realize imagine if they'd never had created the income tax in the United States. We'd be so much further. We'd probably be, I would think that a lot of us might be domiciled on other moons and planets in our solar system at this point. There's this one physicist who tried to, I know we're getting a little far away from trading here, traders, but sometimes it's well worth looking back at the technology to understand what's going on. But there was this one physicist who did a study about 15 years ago on how much the income tax slowed the American growth and creativity. He measured it through patents, the lack of patents at the speed of people creating new ideas and patenting them. He measured it through the advancement of different sectors and new technologies. Obviously, that commingles with patents. So, Titus, haven't seen you in a while. Where you been hiding? Everything is linked. Right on. Right on. That's right. It really is. So, the cable, the telegraph and, the ticker tape and all like that, all that, has been around for, almost 2 centuries. Literally. The ticker tape at the exchange, in the 1860s, 1870s, 1880s, a lot of that was all around. So, we're talking a good 150 years of experience with this stuff. And there's some great quotes from Nikola Tesla, especially like in the New York Times and so forth, back when it was a newspaper, a functional newspaper. It was talking to him about, he was talking about one day we'll have devices that will allow us to, this is like in 1887, he's talking about this. 1887, he's talking about having telephones that you'll be able to communicate with people all around the world, wirelessly. Is that where you've been? Just up in the north of Norway eating fresh fish. Hey, how's things? Do you see an effect of the North Pole moving closer to you? It's moved about almost 900 miles now closer to you. It's over in Siberia. So if you're in northern Norway, you must be seeing more of the aurora borealis and so forth. In other words, you see northern lights and so forth much more now, right? Because the North Pole has moved towards you by 900 miles. So there must be enormously more visibility of things going on up there. More lightning, more stranger lightning too, right? Aren't you seeing more lightning up there? Let's see. Oh, what's this? Kumar. I haven't seen you either, Kumar. Where you been? Let's see. Thanks, man. I made 70 pips with the GBP cable this week. As expected, it touched the 37. I was really thinking we were going to get into the 38 and then drop. And I really thought, it was going to do that stuff. Yeah, Titus. I'm part of the Electric Universe. I'm part of the Rebel Alliance of scientists that work away from the mainstream scientists. And lightning is way more increased. The aurora borealis is louder than ever. We've seen more. We've been monitoring accurate ultraviolet light now for about 170 years. At the equator and somewheres. I think it's up in Iceland, and we're seeing more ultraviolet light on both indicators. So a lot of things are going on. Our electromagnetic field has diminished dramatically. You don't know how much that has an effect on marketplace and society. All that stuff's going on. Yeah, a lot of strong solar activity. The media doesn't like covering it, but I'm part of the Thunderbolt project and what is it? The observers. The observers, space weather observers, and so forth. And then also I'm with the Sapphire Project too. I support the Sapphire Project, which they built a sun on the Earth about 3 years ago, and did a really good job. Now they're building a giant sun energy system so that they can produce much cheaper electricity and way less radiation than nuclear reactors, and almost no radiation actually no radiation at all from the Sapphire Project. So yeah, there's a lot going on. You should stop in once in a while and give us a physical update what you're seeing. I'm hearing it through the my science side. So anyway, that's where we are, traders. We're looking. It's a Friday. Dukascopy for a long time. We used to do all kinds of funny things on a Friday, more than trading. But I'm here, and our math is here, and we can look at everything. Yesterday we looked at Nifty 50. That was very fascinating. We found. Hey, studio. How you doing? I have to convert that. We'll have to convert that over to English. And let me think. What else have we got going on there? So that's about it. So let's see what's going on here. We just looked at cable, and I'm surprised it's doing its little league. I really thought it was going to touch the 38 more than just the little low side of the 37, but that's the way it goes. And let's see what the euro is doing. There's the euro. Still in a sell from here, from that point there. And look at that. We are threatening the weekly sell here. Wow. Smack-a-doodle. Let's check it out on J4X. All right. There we go. And so the action there is basically the same. Weakness down at the lows, the whole bit. A lot of pressure going on. Again, chances are interest rates are going to be, they're going to chase after interest rates, so they'll buy dollars to chase after those interest rates. In the end result, that's probably what we're really seeing more than anything else. And I am impressed that the markets are not colliding and falling apart as dramatically as they could be. But it seems like they're picking up Mrs. Yellen's characteristic. I'm sure she will be pushing the Federal Reserve to be just like they were during the Obama years, where markets don't go too far volatility wise. They'll just be kind of chill, and just a slow, steady grind on the upside. I think that's why they were. If you noticed when we look over in the stock market side, I mean the way they ran the RTI up, they ran that thing really high. Let's see, what do we got here? So I'm expecting GBP cable to be touching the 35. That wouldn't surprise me if we're going after that daily sell. Yeah, I can see that. That's not that much of a challenge. I agree with you. And then let's see. Titus says, "I thought in Russian. That's okay. I took only one semester of Russian, so I kind of have a flavor, and I know a couple dozen words, and I don't think I read it very well anymore." But that's all right. Doing the Dukascopy webinar, there's a lot of Slavic chatter all the time. So usually I run the translator, and and watch the and I learn here or there a little bit. So that's fine, Titus. No problem there. Let me think. What else is going on? I guess we're going to see some sideways down action, I'd imagine, on some of the pairs, and a little bit more firmness on the dollar. Just because they're reaching for the U.S. bonds at the moment, trying to get that yield. Trying to get that return of money, something that is rare in these times with 17 trillion in assets parked in flat to minus. That's a drag right there, All right, let's take a look at Turkish Lira. Let's see what the Turkish Lira is doing. Right there. I did go in a sell yesterday. I did see that on the fact check spreadsheet. Let's see, where's it at? Line 17? There it is, yeah. So it's 4 weeks in a sell right there, and 1 day in a sell. And you can see the pressure is on it right there. It's doing a minus thing. Not a lot. And then just check it out on our Chicago Quant. Right there. A little bounce trying, huh? But it's got ourselves a little red dot. Let's give it a little refresh with a load. There we are. We'll see what they do. I don't think there's that much excitement at the moment. I think it's just kind of, the markets are just hanging. It's a Friday. Now remember, traders, in the United States, it's a 3-day weekend again. It's the MLK weekend. So Martin Luther King birthday on Monday. So we'll have an electronic market, but we won't really be that active. The banks are closed. Institutions are not doing much. So, markets will be pretty thin. Doc hates to use the technical analysis on that because it gets really sloppy. So just be careful, traders, with the market closed on Monday. So Sunday night, Monday, unless there's some major news out there, chances are, it's a junk market. And, I probably won't even be putting out any work until like Sunday night or something like that. And even then, there's no, like I said, there's no market. So it's going to be really sloppy electronic market, very thin. Just be careful. Remember, liquidity is a trader's friend. So there we go with that. Let's see what's next in here. Let's jump over to Canadian. See how the Canadian is looking. Dollar Canadian. I just saw it. Where was it? Right there. There we go. That went into a sell also. That's line 20. Right there. So we are now, 8 weeks in a sell and 1 day in a sell. And when we go to J4X, and you can see that, it's been in a sell for a while there on the longer trend. And let's put her up on Chicago Quant right there. Oh, look at that nice wild bounce with a volatility signal, green and red. Let's refresh that. Oh, look at it, green. But still not through the door. Notice it's not through the zero line. And the green dot has just disappeared again. We'll see how they try to play that out. But that's an interesting bounce. They put it into the sell yesterday. And no winner chicken dinner there. It's like a, Too bad it didn't go into the sell right there. It would have been a chicken winner dinner. You know, it would have been nice. So you got to have that 8.5 out of 10 somewhere. There it is right there on the Canadian. Let's see. Oh, yes. Let's see. Titus says, yes, it could be difficult next week. What is the W sell number for GBP? Let's see. Weekly sell GBP. Let's go over to GBP again. GBP. Oh, it's far away. Look how high up it is. The white line. Let's go like this. Let's go here and put it on. I can probably come up with a better number by looking through the J4X, matching it up to our math. Let's see. Cable. Where are you? Cable. There it is. So we're looking at just a generality. I would say it's probably okay. I see it. It is down here in the 134. It's like 133.89 to be exact. 133.89. It's got some distance to go, and that's why you can see the white lines high up. The histogram is through the manifold. It's got a lot of work for the weekly itself to get knocked down. So that's why it's that far away. So I don't see. I tell you the truth. I'm a little surprised at all when we do see selling in the cable. It does surprise me because I keep on thinking the cable wants to bust through the 38 area. You know, start playing the low end of the 38 for a while. The range seems to be gliding up slowly. You know. So 133.89 is the weekly sell. It's a good distance off, and as Robin used to observe from it decades ago, when a weekly sell is that far away, forget about it. It's going to go up. It's going to find a way to go up again. So we'll see by the end of the day if this thing holds up in its daily sell or it comes climbing up, or it's just a couple days of correction like that, shaking it up a little bit, and then right back up again. So 133.89. All right. Let's see. Where do we go from here? We did the Canadian. And so, so we did the Canadian. The Canadian is lifting up. So with it lifting up, we're thinking, look at it. We got a green dot again. More volatility. It's right on that edge there. Let me just refresh that one more time. Yep. Oh, look at that. Full green dot and drop the red. Now, with this type of action with the Canadian, chances are oil is down. Now, I can say I'm cheating on that one because I already know. I saw oil like an hour and a half ago down. So it is down. Now, let's go over to the NASCAD. Now, the NASCAD has been down for a couple days. So let's go find the NASCAD. So it was leading us right from the beginning. But it's not really damaging oil per se. Or oil's not damaging, see, the NASCAD's been in a daily sell now for a bunch of days. So, and it's still in a weekly buy though. See that there? NASCAD in a weekly buy, but it's been in a daily sell now for 4 days there. Right there, see that? All right, so now let's do this. We jump over to the oil complex. We can do that. We can go right to the oil complex. And let's check out the oil. And sure enough, it is down. I already knew that. I saw that like 2 hours ago. So, but that's usually the way it rolls. And with the Canadian going up against the dollar and the NASCAD heading down, chances are oil is trying to find a way to go down at the same time. And NASCAD has been 4 days in a sell, and now it's joining in. It picks up that sensitivity of the action. And you can see this is 4 days back. It was there. It sold down again, made another new low yesterday, then took off. And now, bang, down again. And look at that. It's even threatening the weekly. Not weekly, the daily. It's going after the daily. So, let's move that down. So while we've got it there, let's save it. We'll go through the oil complex and see what's going on over in the oil complex. So there is crude oil. Now let's check out natural gas. We saw natural gas yesterday go into the sell there. Let's refresh that. And look at the pop. It's popping up today, that's for sure. So that's today's numbers right there. So we're seeing some buying in there. But And the weekly's holding on by the hair of its chin. And so the short is not allowed, but the long is. So, and we'll see what they do there. What was that? Was that a sell? That was the sell there. So we can move that one over. So that's really 2 days. But we're in a weekly buy, so you're not supposed to take that trade. You just don't. You're not supposed to be long. That's all. A44, how you doing? Math and alcohol don't mix. I don't know. Sometimes it does. So please don't drink and drive. I hear you. Okay. Yes, most people don't do very well at drinking and driving. You're right about that. I hope you didn't experiment. I hope you're not talking from experience. Let's hope that everything is okay with you. Okay, let's hope you didn't bang into anything. That's for sure. And so there it is with the natural gas. Now let's go check it out with Robo, since you're talking about driving. Let's go down and look at Robo right there. There's the Robo oil gasoline. You can see it's flirting with the daily sell today with no problem at all. Let's give it a reload. Oh, now it's refreshing it. Has pushed it back up again. See how sensitive our math is. So there it is right there. Now, last of the oil, we look at bean oil. See what the bean oil is doing. Right there. And so we'll see what the beanie oil is doing. Soybean oil from the what do you call it? The pairs trade, you know, not pairs trade. The CRT spread, you know, the crush. So there it is. There's bean oil. Now that's oats. Let's go to oats and dotes and little daisy daisies and diddly wop de doo, doo doo. Let's find bean oil. Oh, let's move that out of the way. All right. Now bean oil. Right there. March bean oil. Let's give it a refresh. And this is the last of the oil complex that we pay attention to there. It's holding up pretty well, but it is down today. You can see that from yesterday. And yesterday put it in a buy too. How come the line's not there? And let's go like that, and like that, and go like that, and save the bean oil. There we go. So that is the oil complex that we watch. And they sold it off yesterday, or that was like a day ahead of time. It'd been in a sell for, I don't know, a bunch of days there. Was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days down? And then yesterday they popped it. And it doesn't look that good, but it is in a weekly buy, so you got to be careful there. Can't see. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm middle-aged. I'm glad you jumped in there and said that. Yeah, so you can see that right there in the bean oil. The oil complex overall is sideways at the moment. Crude oil down, bean oil up a little bit, not as much. Obviously, it's down from yesterday. And Nasdaq, was it the natural gas right there, trying to bounce back up, but in a sell for a few days there. So, could you move Dukes? Yes, there we go. See that right there? So there's the action we're seeing when it comes to the oil complex. Now what we could do is we want to go over. Should we go over to the metals complex? We can check out gold and so forth. See what they're doing with that. And that might be the next good recipe, you know. So let's do this. Let's go check out the oil complex, the metals complex. There's gold. Gold is trying to get into a buy today. You can see that there. It was really firm last night's close. We have to put a little green line in there like that because it's trying to push us into a daily buy. You see we're trying to climb back into the weekly buy right there. Someone was trying to convince me that they're going to fix gold. Fix gold to what? I kept on saying. Oh, just fix it. Make it cheap. It's like I really have a hard time believing that. But they were adamant. That was for sure. It was a long conversation. Silver. There's silver. Silver closed in the daily buy off the opening of yesterday, or 2 days ago, that bar there, and it ran up. Now it's showing weakness. Let's refresh it, see how it looks. Still looking kind of weak. And the weekly itself is still underneath and showing only more pressure, so you can't really be long at the moment. No longs in silver. Be careful, traders, because I think we do have somebody that's interested on the long side, and it's like, why fight the math? Then let's go down and check out Mr. and Mrs. Platinum right there. Oh, a little selling in platinum today. It's been running along. We're calling that the Yellen Trade. Mrs. Yellen is now going to be Secretary of Treasurer, so this thing seems to be showing some real life in it, but it is down from yesterday. But the weekly is very firm. The daily's been a firm from, I guess what was it? That pushed it through there, but with the volatility, see this closing through there with the red? Then this one with the volatility and closing above it at the same time pushed us into the daily buy at the close of this bar here. And then you can see we had a couple of good days there. So that was a winner chicken dinner. And let's save the platinum. Let's see. Oh, we want to save that. There we are. There we go. Let's see. Oh, yes, let's check out Bitcoin. Fix Bitcoin possibly, but fix gold? Yeah, I know. I didn't. They were trying to convince me for like 45 minutes to an hour. It was like the strangest thing. It was a strange phone call. It was a very strange phone call. It was a friend of mine's friend, and he was convinced that they're going to fix gold. And I said, fix it to what? How can you fix gold? I said, you can buy gold. You can see how the central banks, sell gold in the market. Put pressure on it. But how do you fix it? Because there's always going to be places in the world that people are going to want to buy it physically. Paper gold was fixed during the Obama years a lot. So we'll see what's going on there. Let's see what's next. So we did. Oh, let's do copper. Let's see what copper looks like. Copper's been like in, out, and you can see there. Now let's refresh this. Yeah, look at that. So it did not make it into the buy yesterday. I had it listed as buy, but they changed the math throughout the night. So it's still in the sell. Let's fix that on the spreadsheet too. Because I remember when I put silver in there, I put the other one in there too. Wait a minute, where? Okay. There we go. Okay. Didn't put anything in there. It was blank. Blank. There we go. So there's copper. I don't know what they're trying to do with that, but you got a weekly buy, you got it in a daily sell, and it's going up in value, and now it's coming back down again. I don't think there's any clarity there. So now let's do this. Let's go to Bitcoin. I like that idea. Let's fix it to Bitcoin. I think that's what they should do. They should fix gold to Bitcoin. Now you can see here Bitcoin is flirting with a daily sell, but look at our weekly. It's launched still pretty high up on plot 1 there, 454. So it's holding up very well there. So I don't really see any real weakness yet. We'll see how that goes. Right now it's playing with the sell on a daily, but just literally an hour from now it could be right back up again. I'll give everybody a warning that it's flirting with it, but with the weekly still cleanly on the weak side of it on the upside, and the daily just flirting. Well, maybe they're just profit taking more than anything else. I mean, it ran back up to the $40,000 area. Some people are probably thinking, hey, I think I'll take a little change out of that. But I thought it was yesterday we were talking about it, how I think it was Morgan Stanley, I think, was talking about this, and Goldman Sachs. Both of them were talking about it being the jump off point for the 100,000 run. Can you imagine that? That's going to be wild when you see Bitcoin trading at like, $100,000. It's going to be like, whoa. All right, so that's the metals complex. All right, so we've done the metals complex. Now, shall we look at the stock indices themselves? Does anybody care? If not, we'll go through the stock indices. I think by doing the stock indices, that's how we ended up looking at what do you call it? The Nifty 50. Wow, look at the tightness that's going on there. Is that like it wants to do something nuts or what? Yowzer. Now there it was tight when it was tight like that. Let's just move this over a little bit. The last time it did that tightness, we turned around and went from 12,000 to over 13,000 in a month and change. Then it tried to do it there as tight, and it went from 13,000 down to 12,500 in literally almost a day and a half. Now we're banging against that. Let's see how many times we've seen some of this tight action where it does something wild afterwards. I guess it's all relative. There's one right there. Back in August. Got tight and it went from 11,300 basically to 12,400. So it went over 1,000 points over a 3-week period. So this thing could be really setting up for something. See, Titus says the contrary can be possible too. JPM Morgan and deciding to trade Bitcoin back to 5,000 and everyone is toasted. Yeah, no, I hear you. And they have the ability too. And you don't think that the Federal Reserve is not on their side about that? Oh, no, I agree with you. I mean, you are dead right. I mean, that's why someone's profit taking at 40,000. They're saying, hey, you know what? I think I want to lock some of it in. But now they have options on that product. So you can basically sell calls and buy puts or sell call spreads, give up some upside potential, and take the premium from the selling of the call spread and buy puts with it, and protect yourself much lower. So let's see, what else do we got going on here? So yes, stock indices. So there is the Nasdaq 100, or what they call the Tech 100 on Dukascopy. And let's take a look at it on Dukascopy again and see what they're doing with it. And there is the Tech 100. It's around here somewhere. There it is. Tech 100. And then we'll go take a look at the S&P. See what the S&P looks like. I think it went into a sell. Whereas you can see NASDAQ yesterday closed in a sell. And you can see the white line here has been breaking down. So it's having its problems. Now let's go check out, right there, the sells. Now let's go check out the S&P. It closed in a daily sell yesterday also. Let's refresh that. And let's see what it looks like on Dukascopy. Right above it, there's the S&P 500. So. And you can see it's breaking down too. It started breaking down right up in here. And now it's finally starting to break. Then, let's see, what else do we got? Let's check out Dow Jones Industrial Average. Right there. And there's the Dow Jones Industrial Average. They didn't break down last night. I don't think they did. Let's see. Double check. Yes, it did. So it did also fall into the sell yesterday. There we are. Let's change that color to red. Red wine. No dot and below the zero line. But look at the weekly. It's so firm, And that's the story when it comes to the Dow Jones. Now, the maniac of them all Let's see what the Dow looks like on this too. They do the Dow. There's the Nifty 50. There's the Dow right there on J4X there. You can see it's trying to break down too a couple days ago. Now let's check out the maniac of them all, and that is the Russell. Look at the action in that thing. And it went from 1900 to 2163. I think so. It is 2163. 1900, basically. What's the low there? 1920. I mean, it went up 200 points. That's like, just demonstratively powerful in a matter of 2.5 weeks. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like 2+ weeks, going on a third week of strength there like that. And we've been in a weekly buy since the 1800, and you can see we've been in a daily buy from there. What a winner chicken dinner that was. Now it's starting to break down today, so we'll put a little red line in here. And there was like 28 billion. I think we talked about it yesterday. 28 billion in high tech investing and so forth, and some riskier companies. So let's see. Oh, what is it? Titus says. Where's my glasses at? Titus says interesting, because we did not see any real move upward or downward after the 6th. Do you expect big moves after 21? I'm thinking, yeah, I am, but they have not. Remember, with central banks being the player, they're not going to let, and Mrs. Yellen as the Secretary of Treasurer, there's a good chance that we're not going to see anything like that. They're not going to let it. It's going to have to be some major noise, political noise, that puts pressure on the markets at this point. Because they're going to, we've lost free speech, and a lot of information is not getting out to a lot of people about anything. So if there's going to be there's going to be a lot of lack of participation solely because of that, and a lot of less panic. I think smart money will be trying to get out, but overall, public might get hung out to dry. And so that's what's going on there. Did I say that? Let me just double check. I think I did. There we go. So there's the 4 indices. Now, for fun, let's go to the Nifty 50 and take a look at that too at the same time. There it is right there. Now, it closed in a sell yesterday. Oh, no, it's not trading yet. That's interesting. Let's reload that. Oh, no, there it is. Okay, now it's trading. So you can see we went into the sell here, and they're backing off a little bit, and the weekly is starting to threaten the top of the manifold. So it's going to take some work, but it wouldn't surprise me if they found a way to get into a sell next week, maybe, when it comes to week-to-week basis. So for you Nifty 50 traders, start looking for the 40 area on the ETF. Maybe even some down. Maybe they try to close this gap. I don't know. We'll see. They tried to do it there. It didn't work too well. So we'll see what they do. Just that it looks like there's definite pressure on that. All right. So that does it. We've done. What have we done here now? We've done the stock indices. We've done the metals. What else have we done? I guess the only thing we didn't do is we didn't look at the interest rates. You can see here the price of the bond is going up. That means yield is going down. That's what that's all about, is that it keeps on. See, let's go to that. And that doesn't even belong in there. How did that get in there? I guess it was there. I guess they sold it down, but not, somehow or another they had it pressed underneath, but you can still see it's still in the buy there. So let's check our fact check spreadsheet and see what that says. ZN. Yeah, so it threw a 1 in there. So really it should be a 3. Oh, wrong keyboard. 3. So that's where it really is at the moment. So that means that they're still buying U.S. bonds, whoever they are. And that is the 10-year. And then there is there's the 30-year. Same thing there. Let's remove that. Let's reload that. Oh no, it was right. Was it right? It was right. It's a minus. So that was fine. So that goes into a sell. That's good. And now what it's doing is it's trying to get back into the buy by it lifting up in here. But we need to get rid of that red dot and have it no dot or a green dot. And then we can put a green line in there. So we're just leaving that blank for the moment until that red dot disappears. And then, but you can, I mean, what I can do is to emphasize that fact, what we can do is we can put a green line over here, the next bar, just to, just kind of wake up everybody to the fact that if it loses that red dot, it's going into the buy. Yeah, that's what that is. And so that's the action we're seeing now when it comes to the two interest rate products that we have on the charts there. Let's see, any other questions? I don't see anything else. Did I see middle age? Yeah, middle age is here. Middle age, you care to see anything in particular? Usually you save me and you end up asking me about something. It's always nice. Always like a question or two. Let's do this. Let's take a look at the grains this morning. See how they're acting. Oh, look at soybeans again. Climbing to the moon. Boy, is there like a starvation thing going on or what? I mean, it made a new high and then it backed off a little bit for the moment. The weekly is very firm and the daily is very firm. And so we're not really seeing a lot of weakness when it comes to the grains. Yeah, unfortunately, the live cattle is not trading at the moment, but let's take a look at it anyway, because we can look at see how it finished off and if there was any adjustments from last night. Yeah, see, that's playing with the weekly sell. Let's give it a refresh. Yeah, see, it's playing with the weekly sell. It's been in the daily sell since here. We have 4 days of red dots. And now, look at that. They threw a green dot in there, which kind of messes with our sell now. That wasn't there before, so somehow or another, collecting data up, they've added something in there that pushed it into a green dot again, but this closed below it, and then this basically reversed it again, and it was almost like it's really 3 solid days in a sell here. So that's what's weird about that sometimes. When they add more data overnight, it turns it into some of the stranger things like that. That's why the morning one is really important to look at again. And then, did we look at hogs? No, we didn't look at hogs, but hogs, look at that. The weekly is very firm, but the daily has been rolling over really well. Now that just missed it because we're using a 3.5 on this. So that's where it really pushed into the sell-off of the close of that one right there. And that's because of the rate of its action, the volatility. That's, I guess you would call it its beta. And so that's what we're seeing there. Now let's see what corn's doing. Corn seems to be holding up, and I think they've put a charge into wheat again too, didn't they? But look at the daily there, a little teeny histogram, because that's running a 3.5 also because of the beta. It's like hogs, on corn. And then, so we save that. Let's see what wheat looks like. Let's first go to Chicago wheat right there. Oh, and then I saw feeders. We'll take a look at the feeders too. Let's reload this. Let's see, Middle Age says, could you take a look at JO? It's a coffee ETF. Sure. That's no problem at all. Let's go after it. It does a good job of tracking, I can tell you that. I think also cotton does. We had cotton in there too somewhere along the line. And let's just refresh that. And look at wheat. Wheat's really starting to take off again. The weekly didn't want to go away even when it did that sell stuff, I mean, let me just point it out again. You can see here it was very mild, and then it turned into the buy, and from the news. Now let's go over to Open Sesame. Let's see, right there I think it is. So there's SPY. Let's see, what do I have? There's bail. There it is. I already have JO. See, there it is right there. Let's give it a refresh. So you can see here, it's been in a daily buy from, that was the volatility day right there. So it's been in a daily buy from there. So the opening of this next bar gave you the buy as long as this was through. And it was. So, it's basically from the 36 up to 37.5 for the last couple of days. And what is that? That's today. So that's the coffee market. And you can see the weekly's been going on from here. And I think we tried putting the 3 in there. It didn't seem to do too good, but we tried. I remember that. So, I think we did that in front of everybody because of the rate of this thing. 3.5 or something like that. Overall, let's just take a look at that weekly again. Yeah, see, we're not even running the 5. It's just the 3. Let's just, for interest sake, make that something like I don't know, like that, and let's make it a line. Let's see how it looks. So it jumps into the, I guess it tries to go into the buy here and starts to confirm it here. The 5 would be possibly the better product actually versus the 3.5 when it comes to coffee. That could be very interesting. Let's just take a look. Yeah, because we really don't need to use both. In other words, so the buy in coffee started here. We never saw the sell. That sell didn't happen. And it stayed in the buy all the way. Just follow the, in many ways you can. So remember, we use 2 lines, plot 1 and 4, just to be able to show you how they react to the time manifold. But we really don't need that because they're both going to be plus or minus equally all the time. So in other words, the purple, or this bluish one, that's a gas line 5. Okay? And so you can see here it goes into the buy here and catches that whole ride on the weekly. Even with that dip, it doesn't fall down. So I think we'll leave that in there. And so what you're really looking at is you're looking at a gas line 3 with the green and the white. And then you're looking at gas line 5 by looking at the light blue one. And so you can see here it goes into the sell. It's a little late, but it's a lot faster than the 3.5. And you see how it breaks down. And then it goes into a buy here and then fails and goes right back into the sell for all the way up to, let's see, what was that? That's a -5. Remember, we're following plot 6 out of that. So there's the buy there for the coffee. And it's been in a buy. So, yeah, it usually is. It's ahead of everything. That's because we have a better time value. I try to explain that to them at the Institute or at the Strings 2014. Time, they're using the wrong time function when you're trying to do atomic physics, doing string theory function. It's just the wrong function. I use the right time function. So the one I invented. My time function is really good. It's just a little bit more accurate of regular time compared to what I call Newtonian time. Because it's connected to the beta. So I just had a sip of my tea there. And so I could hear the cling cling on the thing there. All right, so yeah, so why don't we do that? We'll leave that in there. Now let's go back and look at cotton. There's cotton on the ETF. And you know what? Let's do the same thing and make it a line. Oh, I can't do that because of the time manifold. So let's make it that one. There we go. So it goes into the buy here. It goes way ahead of time to the into the buy. So the buy really is there for that whole ride. Then it confirms with the 3, but the 5 is definitely, it's got the right beta to it. Also, the sell is right. And then where's the last buy? That buy there is there? Yeah, so the buy is that week, a week ahead of time. Nothing major. And then the sell is right here. And then the buy here, I guess, is right there for this. Let's see, did that hold up? Yep, look at that. Plot 6 is 0. Remember, my math was created to deal with atomic theory and string theory. It was the challenge to the Higgs boson, back in '77 I invented this. So you can see how tight it can get. So it's 0.00, it's a plus in the end result. We don't know if it's 0.000054 out there, but it's a plus, that's for sure. So the plot 6. So it's in the buy from here and catches that winner, winner, chicken dinner. And there's the daily buy for it too. Puts you in the daily buy right here on that one for sure. And then you're getting your volatility signal right there. So the ETFs are not too bad, All right, traders. What else have we got to talk about here? That was cool. I like that. We get a chance to take a look. Thank you for asking about the coffee, and cotton got into that event. And so I think we're going to use a combination of the 3, 5, and the 5 when we do look at some of these ETFs, and depending on their beta. Matter of fact, I guess we could do this. We could go back and look at where is it at? We could take a look at corn, was it? I wanted to look at corn in a different complexion, right? No, that's a 5 already. That's right. We're running a 5 on that. That makes total sense. Was it hogs maybe? We may have to take a look at the hogs. Was it the hogs I want? No, it's 5. It's running a 5 also. So that's the right beta for it. How about the cattle? Yeah, cattle. So let's do this. Let's take a look at it real quick with the okay, we're already running it. So it's the white histogram. That's it, close. So we're running. So the white histogram is the 5. So it goes into the weekly buy there, and then it goes into the sell, then it goes back into the buy here. Okay, that's not too bad. And now it's definitely pushing into the weekly sell. Yeah, so you're running, when you look at the histogram on this one in particular, it's, I guess what we should do is we should do this. We should make the same thing with the line. It's put a light blue line in there. I don't know. We haven't, I'll have to work on that on a 3-day weekend, see what we do with that. All right, anyway, this is Doc from North America. We will catch you on Monday. Doc will be here because there's an electronic market. And everybody have a nice MLK 3-day weekend. So, happy trails to you until we meet again Monday. Happy trails to you, to all our traders.